Okay, we are back. So I'm looking at 7, 8, 9, and 10. I think I'll just do 8 and 10 right now to continue with simplifying radicals. Remember, find the largest perfect square root factor, or perfect square number that fits into your radicand, the 175. Factor it out, pull out your perfect square number to the outside of the square root sign, and then leave the leftovers on the inside. So 175, what is the biggest perfect square number that goes into 175? My guess is it's 25. So if I take the square root of 25, and let's see here, 175 divided by 25 is 7. Okay, I know 7 is a prime number. It can't be broken down anymore. Remember, 25 is 5 times 5. It's one of those magical perfect square numbers, so I can take the square root, and the 5 comes out, and I leave the leftovers underneath the radical sign. So simplifying the square root of 175, I get 5 square root 7. If, remember this is exact, if I need to have a measurement for the side of a shape or something like that, then I'm probably going to round this off to like the nearest tenth or the nearest hundredth. And remember, this is your rounded version. Okay? This is what I'm going to ask you to do on your homework now, but I know sometimes we have to have the rounded version. So, radical, this is called a radical, and this is the rounded version. All right, number 10, what happens when you have something already outside of your square root sign? Well, you're going to leave it out there, and I'm going to follow the same process. I'm going to find a perfect square root number that goes into 54. And I believe the biggest one that fits is going to be 9. Okay, lucky winner here. 9 is the same as 3 times 3, so I can actually pull out a 3 and put it in front with the 2. And 6 can't be factored out anymore. There's no perfect square numbers there to factor out, so that stays under the radicand. 2 times 3 is 6, so 6 square root 6 is my final answer. Again, remember this is the exact, the simplified radical is what they call it. And if I needed to do this for, let's say, the length of a board or something like that, then I would probably be rounding it off to about 14.7. Or to the nearest hundredth, depending. Be sure you read the directions so that you know which one is being asked for, especially with the study islands or any homework assignment. All right, so continuing on. They do get a little more complicated. There are other roots, but we are only working with square roots right now. So let's look at 12 and 13, and then I'll stop after that. Again, if something is out in front, we're going to leave it there. And I'm going to look at the number 128 and see what the biggest factor, square root factor, or perfect square number factor is that will fit into that. And let's see here. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just start easy, like with 4. And 4 does go in, but is not the biggest number. So let's see here. So I actually think 64 times 2 works. 64 is a perfect square number. If you did 4 times like 32, then you'd have to take 32 and take a 4. Excuse me, times 8 out, and then you could divide the 8 by 4. So it's always best to get your biggest perfect square number out of that. So leave the 8. 64 is 8 times 8, so an 8 comes out of that square root of 64. And the leftover is 2. It's a prime number, can't be factored. That stays under the radical sign. So 64 times the square root of 2 is your final answer for your simplified radical. Again, if you need to have it rounded off, your rounded answer would be about 90.5. So be careful. This is what you'll do on your homework for tomorrow. But sometimes you do need the rounded version. All right, number 13, again, the -3 stays, and I'm going to look for the biggest perfect square number that is a factor of 28. And I believe that's going to be 4. 4 is a perfect square number. It's 2 times 2. So I can take out of the square root of 4, I can take out a 2. Remember, again, we're looking for the positive square root. -2 times -2 would indeed give you 4. But most of the time when we're doing square roots, we're looking for distances or lengths of the sides of a shape. And we're most of the time, I can't say all the time, with parabolas you got to find both roots. But most of the time we're going to look for the positive answer. All right, who's still left? That poor 7 can't be factored, it's prime. So -3 times 2 is -6, square roots of 7. That is your simplified radical answer. It's the same as this. Same answer, it's just simplified. Again, if we were going to simplify that or round it to the nearest 10th, we would get approximately -15.9. All right, so I hope this is helpful. Square roots will be used a lot as you move on through math, especially in Algebra 2, and also next year as you do geometry, we will be using these quite a bit. So I hope this was helpful, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Happy day.